What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, YouTube? Hopefully, everybody is feeling good, feeling great, guys. Let's go, Mets. Let's get this pregame started, guys. First of all, the New York Mets. We got some definitely, definitely some news to talk about, and that is going to be with Juan Soto. Yes, Juan Soto. The New York Mets are also 11-5. I want to say that the Mets are 11-5 right now. It is a good time to be a Met fan. Honestly, when it comes to the Mets, this is what you want to see from this team. You want this team to get wins. You want this team to keep winning. And right now they're 11-5. They keep finding ways to win games. It is very, very impressive. I feel like when it comes to the Mets, it's something very, very exciting. Let's see here. So yeah, when it comes to the Mets, we look they're looking good right now. The Mets are looking good. The Mets are feeling good. Offensively, it hasn't been amazing for the New York Mets. Offensively, there's been some things, but we got to talk about today's lineup. And today's lineup is Lindor. We got Juan Soto. We got Pete Alonso in the third spot. We got Marte hitting cleanup, which is very, very interesting. I feel like Marte is a guy that you can plug in any day and he will give you a productive at bat. I really do like Marte. I like what he gives. I like what he is bringing to the table. Marte is a guy that is always going to give you a professional at bat. It's something that is very impressive, and I really enjoy having Marte as a New York Met. This is the last year with Marte, and it kind of is what it is. So we got Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo has had some struggles lately. Brandon Nimmo hasn't really hit his stride yet. He's been striking out, but he has some power numbers. He's been hitting some home runs. He's been hitting some big shots, and I feel like Brandon Nimmo is still trying to figure out what type of hitter that Brandon Nimmo is because yes, he is right now a pull heavy guy. He can take a ball to the opposite field, but I really feel like Brandon Nimmo is a big part of this offense, a really big part of this offense. And you got Mark Vientos, and Mark Vientos, it looks like he's coming back to form, and it's something that I really like. Mark Vientos coming back to form is something that the Mets desperately need. The offense desperately needed because right now you got the bottom of the lineup and they're not really doing much. But Vientos, if he can hit, he can add something to this lineup. And I feel like Mark Vientos, these past days, he's been doing a great job. He's been doing his thing. He's been hitting the ball opposite field. And when it comes to Mark Vientos, I just want him to keep doing his thing. Keep doing his thing. Stay to that approach. Don't chase that slider outside because it seems like they're going to give you that slider. They're going to give Mark Vientos that slider over and over and over again. And he has to lay off it. And that is what good hitters do. And it's something that Mark Vientos, he wasn't pitched like last year. He was given a lot of fastballs, and now he's getting sliders, he's getting breaking pitches. But when it comes to Mark Vientos, he is improving. He's looking better at the plate. He has really good swings lately, and he's hitting line drives, and he's hitting the ball opposite field. So I feel like Mark Vientos is coming back to form, and I feel like the Mets desperately need Mark Vientos to come back to form. And then you got Torrens, who Luis Torrens has been a godsend when it comes to the New York Mets. This guy has been very confident. He's given you everything that you want ever since Alvarez got injured. And a lot of people were worried, oh, what's going to happen with the offense for the catcher spot? And Luis Torrens has given you, he's batting like 300 something right now. He's very, very impressive. Luis Torrens is a good hitter. And Keith Hernandez said yesterday that Luis Torrens reminds him of Jose Iglesias. I thought that was very interesting because Jose Iglesias is a guy that can always go opposite field, can get a hit. And Luis Torrens, he's looking like that guy. I really feel like, yes, obviously Luis Torrens is a catcher, but Luis Torrens is a guy that's going to give you a productive at bat. He's going to try his best to give you a productive at bat and do his thing. And when it comes to Luis Torrens, I really feel like the Mets having Luis Torrens in this lineup is very important right now for the Mets. It really is. And you got Francisco Alvarez coming soon from injury. He's on a rehab assignment right now. Tonight he's going to play in with Binghamton, so with the Rumble Ponies, because apparently Syracuse has some bad weather and their game is already over. So, but then you got Tyrone Taylor, and Tyrone Taylor's a guy that he can play good for a couple of games, but not an everyday single player that you can count on every single day. I like Tyrone Taylor a lot, but he goes through spells where he can't really do much. But he's a guy that can give you a productive at bat at times. He can hit the ball hard. I really do like Taylor. Obviously the injury, I don't know if you guys know, but Jose Siri fractured his tibia, so he's not going to be with the Mets for a little bit. Apparently, he doesn't think that he needs surgery. So I don't know what's going to happen with Jose Siri, but it looks like Jose Siri is not going to be with the Mets at least for until he comes back. So I think Tyrone Taylor is a guy that he's going to get the starts. He's really the only center fielder that they have right now. So, but I thought something was interesting. I saw something on Twitter, and it was about if Luis Angel Acuna keeps hitting the way he's hitting, maybe when McNeil comes back, you slot him in the second base position, and you bring Tyrone Taylor to the bench, and you have Acuna playing center field. Now, I haven't really seen Luis Angel Acuna play center field a lot, really. I think he played a couple of he could play center field, second base, shortstop, maybe a little third base, but I like Acuna and I like what he gives you. And in this 9 spot, this guy can throw a butt down. You saw yesterday, he provides action. He brings action to this lineup. He brings something to this lineup, and he brings that speed. That speed is something that the Mets don't have a lot of. And when it comes to Luis Angel Acuna, he has it. So I really feel like Luis Angel Acuna is doing his thing. I feel like he's gaining more confidence, gaining with the more. If you give him more starts, maybe he will just keep it going and keep rolling. Because when he came up last year, this guy, Luis Angel Acuna, he was feeling it at the plate. He was looking really good. He was hitting home runs, which was very surprising from Luis Angel Acuna because you didn't think that he was going to be a guy to hit you home runs. But this guy was hitting home runs like nothing. So, obviously, Luis Angel Acuna is a big part of this Mets offense right now. And in the 9 spot, I really feel like I like the 9 spot. Now let me get into what I want to get into, guys. And that is what's going on with the body language of Juan Soto. I don't know what you guys are feeling when it comes to Juan Soto. I just feel like Juan Soto right now, the body language. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him right now. And yes, he hit a home run, and it was an amazing home run to see. It was great, but there was no reaction to this home run. This guy, maybe, I don't know, people were saying, oh, it was cold in Minnesota, so he's not going to be happy. But in Sacramento, the body language was the same. You haven't seen that Juan Soto mojo, that happiness ever since spring training with the New York Mets. And I don't know what's going on with Juan Soto, but I hope that he enjoys being a New York Met. Now, I want to get into some comments that he said today. And Juan Soto basically said today, from the New York Post, they was asking him a couple of questions, and he said, they're pitching me differently right now. It feels different. I'm not getting a lot to hit right now. And Aaron Judge, as I was when Aaron Judge was protecting me. And I feel like these comments, I have no real problem with him being honest, but when it comes to Juan Soto, he has to be smarter when it comes to the New York media, because if he says something, they're going to run with it. And you know how it is. If you are a Met fan, if you are a Yankee fan, if you are a New York sports fan, you know how it is when it comes to the media, and the media is going to spin things. It's going to spin things, guys. So I feel like Juan Soto saying this is not a good look for Juan Soto. He just has to embrace being a New York Met. And right now, it doesn't look like he is embracing being a New York Met just yet. Maybe he needs that Met moment. Maybe he needs that Citi Field first home run. I don't know. But I feel like, and I honestly feel this way, Juan Soto is going to be just fine. I am not worried about Juan Soto. Juan Soto is the man. This guy is the guy you paid $765 million for. And Juan Soto is going to do what he does. He's going to hit home runs. He's going to hit with runners in score position. He's going to be productive. He's going to be one of your best pieces on the team. And apparently he was asked the other day, yesterday after the game, oh, how do you feel about your power numbers being down? He said, I'm not trying to hit home runs. Nobody is trying to hit home runs. They're not going to tell you that they're trying to hit home runs. Francisco Alvarez, when he first came up, did he say that he was trying to hit home runs? Did Shohei Ohtani say he was trying to hit home runs? No, these guys don't say that they're trying to hit home runs. They just go about it. They just go about it and say, oh, I just want to hit the ball hard, and whatever happens, happens. And I feel like when it comes to Juan Soto, Soto is a guy that needs to just produce. That's what he has to do. He needs to produce for this team and be the guy that the Mets paid for. At the end of the day, that's all the Mets fans want from Juan Soto, but they want him to enjoy being a New York Met. That is something that the Mets want. The Mets want Juan Soto to enjoy being a New York Met. And when he said the comments about Aaron Judge, apparently Aaron Judge commented as well today, and Aaron Judge said, I don't really want to talk about this, when it comes to the Juan Soto comment, because Aaron Judge saying Pete Alonso is doing great right now for you. He is protecting you. He's doing his thing, and he's one of the best hitters right now in the major leagues. So when it comes to Juan Soto saying these comments, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good as a Met fan, and it doesn't look good as a New York sports fan when it comes to Juan Soto. Now, what I feel like when it comes to Juan Soto and these comments are very, very interesting, because is he not enjoying Pete Alonso for protection? I don't know. But I feel like, first of all, he's saying he's not getting pitched to. There's definitely some pitches that I have looked. They thrown in the middle to this guy, and Juan Soto didn't swing at it. So don't tell me, Juan Soto, that you're not getting pitches to hit, because you are getting pitches to hit. You're just not hitting them. You're not hitting them. And I mean, come on. What's going on, Jonathan? What's going on? Man, I feel like when it comes to this is not a good look for Juan Soto. He needs to be smarter when it comes to answering, the New York media questions. So it kind of is what it is. But the Mets got to move on. Juan Soto has to move on. I don't want to hear anything Juan Soto says about the Yankees anymore. I don't want to hear no damn questions about the Yankees. When we get to the Subway Series, we could talk about the Yankees, okay? But you don't need to be talking about the Yankees right now. You don't need to be talking about the Yankees. You got to pick this up. Juan Soto needs to hit home runs. He needs to produce for the Mets to be better. The Mets got Juan Soto to produce. That is what Juan Soto, they got him for. Okay. So that is what I want to see from the Mets. I want to see, Soto be productive. At the end of the day, be productive. Hit with runners in scoring position, hit home runs, dictate at bats, because in spring training, and as you know, Juan Soto, he dictates the at bats. He puts pressure on the pitchers. We have not seen that. And I want to say, Jonathan said, do you feel bad for not liking Pete? Listen, Pete Alonso, if you look at his production last year, you look at the at-bats that he was taking last year, he was completely different from what he's doing right now. Right now, Pete Alonso is on a different level. I don't feel bad for my comments about Pete Alonso, and this is why. Because Pete Alonso was not doing it. He wasn't proving it. He didn't do much in the regular season. This guy was not hitting with runners in scoring position. And he's had basically 2 down bad years in a row. So it's not my fault that I want to see Pete Alonso do well. And I don't feel like I didn't feel like Pete Alonso was the same Pete Alonso that the Mets got in his rookie year and after when he hit 53 home runs, and a guy that can hit 45 home runs. I just wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing the productive Pete Alonso that I usually see. And this season has been completely different from what I have talked about, because last year Pete Alonso just wasn't doing it. And apparently he was messing with his mechanics or something. That is what's being said. And then in the postseason, he got some stuff. He got some stuff fixed, and he finally figured it out. And in the postseason, he looked a lot better. He provided a great OPS. He was doing everything that he needed to do for the Mets in the postseason. Now, right now, when it comes to the New York Mets, Pete Alonso signed. Okay. And it's not just me. It's not just me. A lot of people feel this way. There's a reason why Pete Alonso didn't get the contract offers that he thought he was going to get. There's a reason, because he's not that great defensively. He's not a fast guy. And as players get older, you know, it's a risk with these guys. It's a risk, and you don't know what you're going to get from these guys. Now, Pete Alonso, credit to Pete Alonso. First of all, Aaron Judge said Pete Alonso is one of the best players right now, and he's giving that protection to Juan Soto right now. And I feel like Pete Alonso, am I going to support a Pete Alonso extension? Listen, I really felt that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was going to be an answer to the New York Mets if he didn't sign back with the Toronto Blue Jays. And Pete Alonso was going to walk away, and maybe it was going to be a marriage between the Mets and Guerrero. And now Guerrero signed back with the Blue Jays, and credit to him, he got his extension. So the Mets were very interested, and I mean very interested, in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And now when it comes to Pete Alonso is going to be a free agent after this season if he opts out, which most likely, if he has a big year, he's going to opt out because he's going to want that contract extension. Do I want to see a contract extension between Pete Alonso and the New York Mets right now? I feel like right now, Pete Alonso is doing everything that he can to get that extension and doing everything that he can to put the pressure on the New York Mets. And the Mets want the pressure. The Mets want this guy to perform. That's what the Mets want. Do I want to see the Mets, Pete Alonso, for maybe 5 more years, 6 more years? You know, I feel like when it comes to Pete Alonso, I'm okay with a 4-year deal or 5-year deal. But anything after that, I don't want Pete Alonso on this team for. I don't want Pete Alonso for an 8-year deal. I don't want Pete Alonso for a 9-year deal or a 10-year deal. I want the Mets to be smart here. And I like Pete Alonso a lot. And he's been one of the best Mets, to be honest, and in his career. He's been one of the Mets, and he's going to break the record. He's going to have the most home runs and be the guy that, you know, that he is for the Mets. Now, it is what it is at this point. I feel like I am very happy with Pete Alonso's progression. I am very happy with what Pete Alonso is producing for this team. It could happen. It could happen. And I'm not opposed to a Mets and Pete Alonso extension. I'm not opposed to it. Let me know what you think, man. I don't know. Like, you want this guy for 10 years, 8 years, 9-year deal? I personally don't. But maybe they can work out a 4-year deal, 5-year deal, and get this guy up to when he's like 36 or 37, maybe. Now, what I want to get into, and I want to get into something about Griffin Canning. Now, Griffin Canning, guys, he is going to be sick, and he's not going to be making the start tomorrow. So the Mets are going to have to find a spot starter, and it can't be Brandon Sproat. It's not going to be Tidwell. I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be Jose Urena. Maybe it's going to be another guy. But right now, with the New York Mets, it's not going to be Griffin Canning tomorrow. The Mets are going to have to make a decision. I think they're going to make a decision after this game today. So when it comes to the New York Mets, The Mets pitching rotation has been on fire. They have been doing this thing. He said, I want Pete to stay forever. 10 years, 175 mil sounds fair. I mean, credit to you, man. If you feel that you want Pete Alonso for 10 years, 175 mil, it is what it is. I personally feel that there's way, way too many years for Pete Alonso. I like Pete Alonso a lot. I support the extension. I just don't support the 10 years. Sorry. But Griffin Canning, guys, he's going to be sick, so he's gonna, and it kind of is what it is. It sucks that he's gonna be sick. Apparently Jesse Winker was sick, so I don't know what's going on in the Mets clubhouse right now, but I don't want to hear about these guys being sick like this. Damn, this sucks, but you kind of can't control that. Ronnie Mauricio, I want to talk about Ronnie Mauricio, guys. He is coming back soon. He's going to be with the Florida complex. He's going to be taking at bats as a DH. Very, very great news. Very great news for the New York Mets and Ronnie Mauricio, because they want Ronnie Mauricio to be a big part of this foundation for the New York Mets. And if he gets healthy and he feels good, he can be up here as soon as maybe July, maybe late June, and take a spot from somebody if they're not producing. And I feel like Ronnie Mauricio, out of all the prospect that the Mets have, he has a lot of potential. And I really feel like Ronnie Mauricio is a guy that is very important to the Mets foundation going forward. Now, he has coming off a torn ACL. It's going to be tough, but he will be fine. Now, when it comes to the New York Mets, I want to talk about the lineup, guys. We got to get into the lineup. And we got Francisco Lindor leading off. Francisco Lindor, he seems like he's getting it going again. He's getting a couple of hits. He's getting some doubles. He's looking better at the plate, which is something that I want to see from Francisco Lindor. And a guy like Francisco Lindor, he's going to be fine. He's an all-star. He hasn't been an all-star with the Mets, so I don't know. But he is a guy that has MVP talent, and he's going to be fine, and he's going to be great. And Francisco Lindor, I can't wait to see more of him. And when Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo get going, this offense is going to be insane. That is what I'm waiting for as a New York Met fan. I am waiting for it. I can't wait for it, man, because it's going to be very, very exciting. Now, this is a good comment here, man. I'm sorry to hear about your sick, Jonathan. I'm sorry to hear that. This is a good comment right here by Jonathan. Do you bench Alvy for Torrens? Now, I feel like Luis Torrens has proven himself to be a very important piece for the New York Mets. This guy, Luis Torrens, is on fire. He's hitting with runners in scoring position. He has a great OPS right now. He has a great average. When it comes to Luis Torrens, when Alvy comes back, they're going to give him some starts. But Luis Torrens, he has earned playing time. He has earned it. And I feel like Luis Torrens, he is not going to be on the bench and just waiting on the bench. No, when Francisco Alvarez comes back, Alvarez is going to have to prove to the New York Mets that he can be a good offensive piece for the New York Mets. He's going to have to prove it. Now, what I want to really talk about, and it's something that I saw on Twitter earlier today, and it was about McNeil. Jeff McNeil coming back, playing second base, and I don't know if you guys heard, but maybe if Tyrone Taylor is not providing offensively for the New York Mets, what if you have Acuna heating up and doing his thing, getting on base, stealing bases, doing whatever he needs to do and being productive? What if he plays center field for the New York Mets? Luis Angel Acuna is a guy that can play center field. I think it will be very interesting of a way. It will be a very interesting way to get Luis Angel Acuna at center field. And I feel like, what if you get Luis Angel Acuna, Jeff McNeil, Vientos, Lindor, Soto, everybody, Alonso, Nimmo, all these guys in the same lineup? I think it's going to be something that is going to be exciting for the New York Mets to watch, because Luis Angel Acuna is a guy that can just change the game with his game-changing speed. Let's say he gets on, and I really like Acuna in the 9th spot. Acuna provides something for the New York Mets in the 9th spot. He provides that speed. He provides that killer speed. And it's something that you really want to see from Acuna, because you got, let's say a guy like Lindor hits an RBI double and Acuna is on first base. This guy is going to score if it's on the gap. If it's over the gap, if it's gap to gap, he's going to score from first because he has that game-changing speed. So I feel like that would be a very, very interesting development when it comes to the New York Mets. I don't know what you guys think of that, but Luis Angel Acuna as center field. We know that the center field position hasn't been amazing for the New York Mets. They're not getting a lot of production from that spot. Maybe Luis Angel Acuna can take that spot from Tyrone Taylor and provide some offense for the New York Mets. Now, I want to get into Mark Vientos. And Mark Vientos has looked a lot different lately. He has been taking better swings. He hasn't been striking out a lot. Mark Vientos is looking like the guy. He's looking like he's coming back to form. And I really feel this way because he's hitting the ball opposite way. He's hitting line drives, and he's not trying to strike out. He's not striking out a lot. They're going to pitch him that breaking ball. He's going to get that slider over and over again. He just has to lay off it and get that fastball or get a breaking pitch that's a mistake and turn on it. And Mark Vientos is going to be just fine. Mark Vientos has a really good swing, and he's going to be just fine. Now, guys, this is something that I feel like Mark Vientos is a very, very important piece for the New York Mets. And I can't wait to see Mark Vientos just keep it up, because the Mets need Mark Vientos to be successful. And offensively, when these guys get going, Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, these guys get going, Vientos, this offense is going to be something special to watch. And yes, Francisco Alvarez. Yes, Jeff McNeil is coming back soon. So the offense is going to be even more deep if Jeff McNeil provides something for the New York Mets, which I feel like he will. And it's funny because watching Jeff McNeil, I'm like, I don't even want this guy a part of the team. But now I'm learning to really, appreciate what Jeff McNeil gives you, because having Brett Baty give you nothing is better than Jeff. There's not, you got to have something, and Jeff McNeil is going to give you something offensively. Now, Francisco Alvarez, with his new swing, with his new mechanics, you don't know what he's going to give you, but hopefully he will give you something productive for the New York Mets. We will see, guys. But, man, it's going to be very, very interesting to watch. At the end of the day, the New York Mets are winning and keep winning, and they got to keep it up. They got to keep it up, man, because you're facing bad teams. Great teams beat bad teams. And when it comes to the New York Mets, the Mets are doing everything that they can to be successful. They're 11-5 right now. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it rolling. And the pitching, the bullpen, I mean, you can't even ask for any more of what you got so far in the season. So when it comes to the New York Mets, we will see what happens. But I feel like the Mets team is going to look a lot different in 2 weeks, man. It's going to look a lot different. And you're going to have Jeff McNeil, Francisco Alvarez be a part of this lineup. It's going to be very, very interesting. Now, Jonathan said here, the lineup, let's go. Francisco Lindor, Mark Vientos. We got Soto, Alonso, Nimmo. Oh, wow. You got Nimmo in the Oh, you're going Vientos in the second spot. That is very interesting. Mark Vientos in the second spot. I feel like, honestly, the Mets aren't going to take Soto out of the second spot. I feel like they want him in the second spot, and it's been working for the New York Mets. Yes, Soto hasn't got to the most amazing start, but definitely the lineup is better with Francisco Lindor and Soto being right there. So I feel like I don't hate your lineup. I just don't feel like Mark Vientos is going to be in the second spot for the New York Mets. Now, when it comes to Acuna in the center field spot, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, we will see what happens, guys, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. I'm going to be live streaming tomorrow. What's it called? Tomorrow we got a day game tomorrow. I think we got a day game tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a live stream for sure tomorrow, so tune in for that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for watching. You guys are awesome. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to have some dinner, and I'm going to enjoy watching the Mets game. Let's go, Mets, baby. Let's go, Mets. Yeah, let's go. Have a good one, y'all.